to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program, COVID Experience. Just took a muscle relaxer and I got to start cleaning. Even though she told me don't clean anymore because then, she have to hear my mouth. But I cannot have the kids, their space looking like this. Look at my son. Every time I pack up his computer desk, I clean up his computer desk as well as his other desk I have so he can put his books and stuff on. This is what he leaves. Empty bottles of water, towel on his chair instead of hanging it up in the bathroom. Game controller on the floor, his sweater on the floor. These things don't matter to her, and so it doesn't matter to the kids. Alright, my daughter had to clean up her area, get her towel on the floor, hanging over her chair. Look underneath her computer desk. Filthy, dirty. And their mother don't want to do it. Your mother, she'll be up all night. She'll be up late, on the phone, whatever. Don't even come and check on the kids and make sure that they're asleep. Alright? But yet, she's always tired. She's always in pain. And I gotta hear about it. Like I tell her, I don't want to hear it anymore. So, I don't want to hear it. She told me yesterday that about her leg hurting. I told her, I really didn't want to hear it. I just got off the phone with her real quick. You know what I'm saying? I got off the phone with her real quick. I just want to know about my package. Was it delivered? And, she usually, when my package delivers, she usually, or the kids usually put it somewhere on the coffee table, somewhere. But there's nowhere that I see it. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video here because I don't want to make this video too long. All right, I want to kind of shorten it because I've already shown what I need to show. Let me do this. Back to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program COVID Experience. Well, it took me 2 hours, but I'm not finished. And I have some more to do. I got to put away laundry. Got to clean on all the stuff here. But at least the children have, again, their space clean again. My daughter was the most difficult. But it's cleaned. Right? Took me a while. But actually didn't need too long. Alright, let's look better. So it's clean. Desk is clean. Computer desk is clean. Computer chair is clean. I just bought her this chair also, and she already had it in the state. She loved the chair. I love it. And to get rid of the old chair that I bought her a few years ago. Right? And I also had bought air filters, air purifiers. I've had this there. I've always had air purifiers because when the kids were younger, it's important that children have, fresh air, fresh oxygen to breathe. And these filters work great. They also work great in terms of getting rid of any type of scent, and so forth. So they've always had that. And again, my son's area. Now, I don't know what is going on with him because as I was cleaning his computer desk, there was a lot of sticky. His keyboard was very sticky, and it might have been when he's eating breakfast, and the syrup doesn't close it back, and it's spill on the table. He just leaves it like that. Don't even wipe it down. This is what I talk about. When I'm here, I make sure that they keep their desk clean, they keep the area clean. When I'm not here, their mother can care less. Doesn't give a shit. And like I said, there's nothing I can do to talk to her. What she's doing is she's very manipulative, very deceptive, and she's being taught how to be manipulative. She's been conditioned how to be manipulative. And I know what it is that they do, right? This is why I continue to expose it, because I want other people to know and understand what's going on. How these women will lie, and how those in the authoritative position who will use them to manipulate them, to attack and throw them in under the bus. Right? And they will do it gladly. They will do it gladly for having fun and excitement that is only temporary. Meanwhile, literally, I just got an alert from some health alert. They always do shit like this, right? They always do shit like this. But, whatever. I don't usually get messages from any health dude, but today I'm getting it because again they want to create this narrative, right? It's not to say that they have not psychologically harmed me or other TIs or people within the society, because they certainly have, right? It is when you start to understand and realize what it is that they're doing, when you start to begin to think and you begin to see the patterns, then you can break the pattern. It's not a, religious black people, religious Negro people like to talk about a curse. It's not a curse. It is a government program. For you dummies that don't understand, it is a government program. It is a psychological, coercive, uh, cognitive warfare being waged on us in particular, us as black people in particular, and the weaponization of everything, right? So if you don't start telling your children the truth, they're going to suffer a worse life than we're suffering today as black people, okay? So, like I said, I got to put her in laundry. I got to fix my daughter's drawers. She's always breaking the damn drawers. It's like,
Okay. Now, Pam had a pair of boots on the ground by the computer there. And as I picked it up, I realized I looked inside of it and I was like, wait, are these? No, I saw the bottom of it and they were like red. I'm like, are these red bottoms? And I'm like, wow, you know, she can spend over $1,000 on some boots or whatever the amount it is. Okay, but yet always complain about how she has no money. She can go on weekend getaways or plan weekend getaways, right? But yet complain about she has no money. And I'm like really, really, I'm not shocked, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, you would, she's talking about the Chinese food about leaving for the kids. There's only it's French fries with 3 pieces of chicken wings. That's it. How is that going to feed these kids? How is he? What they are doing is embolden her to behave and act in this way. And I talk about how these women will starve their children. Literally, they will starve their children. Right? Literally, I've seen it. I've seen it, and I've seen, like I said, my nephew when his children were younger, and when I had my son for the summer, and I would come home and cook after I work, come home and cook and such and such. I had to feed all of them, and then on the weekends, like I would take my son. We would go out to a movie. We always go to the movies or going out to eat or something like that, right? Always had some activities to do. I would come home and, you know, if it's a time where we're, he's still hungry, I make him something to eat, and they will come to me and be like, "Can you make us something to eat?" And I said, "What? How long did you guys eat?" And they were like, "We haven't eaten anything all day." And I'm like, "Why?" Because their father wouldn't make them anything to eat, and we got into an argument. Me and him, their father got into an argument. He's like, "Oh, I will let my kids starve. I don't give a shit." And I was like, "Wow, man, that came out of your mouth." Like this is the mindset. You know what I'm saying? This is the mindset. Now, granted, that was a while ago. These kids are grown now, but the fact that there are women like this and men like this who will say shit like this, right? And again, it is because their minds are being weaponized. Our minds are being weaponized against each other. It's being weaponized against our children, and we don't want to understand it. We don't want to know, because being raised by women who are highly religious, they don't teach you anything. They don't teach you anything. They'll get on their knees and they will pray. They will pray. If something will happen, they will, and let's say you get out of it on scale, they will thank their God. No, it's not God. It's not God. Again, they are so ignorant in a lot of things. But this is what happened when you have the masses of people in poverty, right? And understand that when I say poverty, I mean, in America today, even if you call yourself the working class, you're still poverty. You're just the working poor, right? The middle class has now become the working class. So the working class, which is the majority of people in this nation, have become the working poor. So understand what I'm saying, right? Like I said, I don't say these things just to say it. I say it because I look at the statistics. I look at the job market. I look at all these things, right? Plus, I also listen to people who are economists, who work in government agencies, who are speaking about these things, right? So this is not coming from a place of ignorance because I feel like saying shit and just to say shit. No, it's coming from a place of knowledge because I know. Not that I don't believe, because I know. All right. So we gotta understand what's going on. You're in your parental department, yeah, exposing they shit. So, like I said, she would spend over $1,000 on Louis Vuitton shoes and boots, right? But yet, and go out, have fun, and come home to her house looking the way it is. Right? As I said, the word house near President Department using their sirens. Yeah, whatever, motherfuckers. Anytime, man, come see me. Um, right? And again, they don't want this to be exposed because this is what they're doing within the society. This is what they do in between, particularly if you're a TI, right? They will manipulate the people around you to engage in such behavior. Okay?
What can you do? Just like a mother, in that aspect, right? In that aspect. And I keep telling Pam that you have to set a good example for your children, right? And she look at me and she like, well, you're not working. I'm on disability. What do you want me to do? Right? I continue to expose what I can expose because that is the only way for now that I can help my kids and help others. Not just my kids, but our children as black people to so that they can understand what is going on. Right? And a lot of young black people, particularly young black women now, are waking up and understanding what has been done. Even though it's kind of disingenuous because a lot of black women are now losing their jobs. So now they want to attach themselves to men now, right? Whereas they were having jobs, they detached themselves from men. But that is the purpose of these programs. I want you guys to understand that, all right? Anyhow, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. All right, welcome back to a brand new.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, that's what I just wanted to give an update. And like I said, I still got a lot more to do. But even though she told me not to clean, I'm still going to clean because I cannot have our children living like this constantly. And then she puts them in therapy as if that's going to fix the issues, right? But not understanding that the environment in which you raise your children. Right? I understand that you may not be able to do anything about the environment outside of your home. But in your home, you should at least keep it somewhat clean. Right? Because it helps them develop a mindset that as they get older to want to clean, to be able to clean, to be disciplined in cleaning. But that's not what's happening because she's not disciplined in many areas that she doesn't want to become disciplined in, that she doesn't even want to fix. So her getting therapy it's no way. I was joking with her the other night, and I said, she was like dancing, what have you. So I was, dancing with her too. I said to her, and she was like, I don't know you like that, bro. I said, please, we had 2 kids together, right? So you know me like that. So don't try to act as if you don't know me like that. So I said to her, the only way we're going to get back to even that is that if you get therapy, right? If you get therapy. She's like, nah, that's okay. I'm like, yeah, but I said, I know, but you still got to get therapy. You still got to get therapy. Right? But she doesn't want to because they're conditioned to tell everybody else to get therapy. But when it's time for them to do work within themselves, they don't want to do it. Like I said, they want to be able to manipulate us men so that we can be who they want us to be. Just like how I talk about the white supremacists, how they will condition us to be who they say we are. Our women have become the extension of white supremacists and what they attempt to do to black men, because now they're doing it, not now, but they've been doing it to the children, right? Particularly our boys. You need to understand that. All right? Talk to you guys in the next video.